It's August 15th. Let's call the ordinance committee to order. Madam Clerk, would you read the roll, please?
Yes, Mr. Jacobs?
Here.
Mr. Morrissey?
Here.
Mr. Powers?
Here.
Mr. Lind?
Here.
Mr. Amos?
Here.
Mr. Schmidt? Mr. Welper?
Here.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as proposed.
Second.
Second.
Here we have a motion and a second on the agenda today. Is there any questions or discussion? Here none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Today we have just an update on the surveillance camera ordinance. Mr. Trelka.
And I don't want, Dan Trelka, Director of Safety, I don't want there to be confusion. This is, we currently have an ordinance that regulates convenience store security, and it involves video cameras. This is the ordinance I presented at a work session about a month ago, where we're just updating that ordinance to include more businesses. And generally, the businesses that we're looking at already have security cameras. We just want to formalize that and have certain requirements. And in the first year or so, it won't be rigidly enforced. We're going to educate these businesses to work with them to have these security cameras in their businesses, because it helps them and in turn it helps us. So I'm just looking for a motion from the ordinance committee to pass this on to the city council so we can move toward approval.
Entertain a motion from
I
someone.
move to recommend we move this ordinance on to the city council for approval.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
So, Mr. Trucka, so the first year we're going to kind of ease into this, but then officially the second year, if I was a business owner, I wasn't in compliance, would then I be subjected to a firmer deadline, let's say?
Let's see, I think it even addresses it in there. We'll ease into it even after, let's say after a year, we'd even be easy with the business. It's more of an educational effort
Yes.
than fining them.
Gotcha.
Because it's for their benefit as well.
It is, and we've made some great cases with private security footage from these businesses, so they're very useful for us too.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman? Yes, Director Crook, I noticed that there's a process if somebody needs a waiver to get more time, that
Yes,
we're helping people out that way too.
we are. We're working with them.
Anyone else? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Is that a
Motion for adjournment.
goat or
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Thanks, Pat.
All right.
Committee meeting to order. would please do the
Yes. Mr. Jacobs?
Here.
Mr. Amos?
Here.
Mr. Welper?
Here.
Okay, just for the record here, I'm looking at the membership on this, and it's
Oh.
got Tom Powers listed.
I apologize, my template wasn't updated. So instead of Mr. Welper, Mr. Powers.
Here.
It's here to be there.
Okay, I'd like to get a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the agenda. It is approved. If someone would please take number 1.
I would move to receive and file Mayor Hart's recommendation of the following appointments. Hugh Field to the Board and Commission of the Airport Board. His expiration date will be 6/30/2020, and it's a reappointment.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to appoint Hugh Field to the Airport Board. That's a reappointment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Let's call our Finance Committee to order. Madam Clerk, would you read the roll, please?
Yes, Mr. Welper?
Here.
Mr. Jacobs?
Here.
Mr. Powers?
Here.
Gentlemen, whichever one of you reads this agenda, it's an amended agenda, and you have to read the 2 items that you have before you, which
I'll move the approval of the agenda and the approval of the minutes of August 8th amended agenda. And it's the travel request for Mayor Quentin Hart to attend class training consultation with Gary McFadden, destination Charlotte, North Carolina, dates April 17th through the 19th, 2016. The amount not to exceed $1,315.
For the record, that's August 17th.
Oh, did it? August, okay. Sorry, did I say September?
You said April.
Oh, wow. A travel request as well, to add travel requests for,
That's actually for the council meeting, so you don't have to read that one.
okay.
Second?
Did you read the second one?
That's for the council meeting. That's for the city council meeting, not finance meeting.
Okay, he's saying this. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 That passes. Travel requests, we have 6.
Travel request tonight. Cheryl Huddleston, Human Resources Manager, Nancy Culpepper, Administrative Secretary, Nikki Fischels, Human Resources Specialist, to attend Iowa Public Employer Labor Relations Association Fall Meeting in Waterloo, September 8th through the 9th, not to exceed $300. Officers Wilson and Schaff to attend Glock Armor Recertification, Clear Lake, Iowa, October 4th, not to exceed $500. Sergeant Holscher to attend Glock Armor Recertification, Davenport, September 8th, not to exceed $250. Brian Rath, Treatment Operations Supervisor, to attend the IWEA 2016 Operations Conference, Destination Marshalltown, September 7th and 8th, not to exceed $170. Investigator SAD to attend DVR recovery training, DVR hard drive imaging in Seattle, Washington, September 11th through the 27th, not to exceed $3,945. Captain Reiniger and Engineer Mulberry to attend deliver truck to take a truck to Pierce Manufacturing in Wayuega, Wisconsin, August 19th, not to exceed $300. Captain Liebode, Sergeants McGow, Holscher, and Officer Erie to attend Constitutional Use of Force in Schaumburg, Illinois, August 23rd and 24th, not to exceed $1,105.82. And lastly, Mayor Quentin Hart to attend consultation with Gary McFadden, Charlotte, North Carolina, August 17th through 19th, not to exceed $1,315.
Second.
Motion and a second on the travel requests. Any questions or discussion on any of those? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Same sign, that motion passes. Pre-auths.
I'll take those, Mr. Chairman. Building inspections, the amount and estimated shipping and handling of $1,500. Expenditure with the fire alarm suppression system, plan review for 500 East 4th Street, the KWWL building. Central garage, amount estimated at shipping and handling of $820.00 plus 75 for shipping and handling. Expenditure, card reader circuit panel at the fuel site. The clerk's office, the amount and estimated shipping and handling, $5,993.46. For the expenditure of the 2016 Waterloo City Special Election, City Clerk's Office, the amount of the estimated shipping and handling of $32,150.82. Expenditure, membership dues with the Iowa Northern Regional Council of Governments for 2017, fiscal year 2017. Fire Department estimated with shipping and handling $1,305. Expenditure of the fire code and online form, and those would go through 10/31/16 to 10/31/17. Leisure services, amount estimated shipping and handling of $1,629. Expenditure, dram shop liquor liability insurance 9/7/16 to 9/6/17 for Young Arena to serve beer and wine coolers on Sundays and Sunday sales. Leisure services, again, the amount and estimated shipping and handling of $1,542 plus $326 shipping and handling. Expenditure for 4 park benches. Sewer Department estimated in shipping and handling of $2,648 plus $200 shipping and handling. And this expenditure would be for a half-ton electrical chain hoist. Traffic operations, the amount estimated plus shipping and along with shipping and handling, $1,435.20. Expenditure, 80 bags of reflectorized heads. Traffic operations, amount estimated shipping and handling, $1,238.86. Expenditure, 1 antique street lamp pole. And that's it.
Second.
Motion and a second on the pre-auths. Any questions or discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Susie, on the membership for Iowa North and Regional Council of Governments, what's the basis of that amount? It's an odd amount,
I think it's based on our population.
population.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and that's intercom.
Anyone else have any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, the motion passes. We only have one item today that's on the budget line item amendments, which is on file at the city clerk's office, and also the bills payment this week are $1,030,433.45. That's 1,030,433.45.
Second.
Motion is second on the bills payment. Any questions on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Bills are paid.
Mr. Chairman, motion for adjournment?
Second.
We have a motion and a second adjournment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good evening, everyone, and I would like to welcome you to this evening's City Council meeting on Monday, August 15th. Madam Clerk, could you please read the roll?
Yes, Mr. Jacobs.
Here.
Mr. Morrissey.
Here.
Mr. Powers.
Here.
Mr. Lind.
Here.
Mr. Amos.
Here.
Mr. Schmidt.
Here.
Mr. Welper.
Here.
All right, we have a full council here and not here. Now is the time we ask you to either stand or sit, it's up to you, for our moment of silence. So if you would please do so. All right, thank you. And now we will have Steve Nilsson, our library director, lead us in the pledge.
Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Now be seated.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
we have an amended agenda this evening. It is correct electronically as well as on hard copy, but I am required to read it into the record. This is on the finance. We have a travel request for Mayor Quentin Hart, class meeting, training consultation with Perry McFadden, destination Charlotte, North Carolina, dates August 17th through the 19th, 2016, not to exceed $1,350. That was added within the 24-hour notice to accommodate the travel for training. That same item will be on the regular agenda. That would be added item 1BH. Also amended could be item number 13. This is a resolution approving the third amendment to the development agreement with Deer Creek Development, LLC, for the overall development of infrastructure of the Greenbelt Center Business Park by adding 1 year to the previous 10-year time frame for infrastructure build-out, and authorize mayor and city clerk to execute all necessary documents. The item was amended to remove the minimum annual payment increase from $250,000 to $300,000 term of the contract. And also the approval of the minutes of August 8th, 2016 regular session as proposed.
Second. The motion has been made with a second. Any questions on the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, those items carry.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda. That's items 1A through 3A, and within that are the bills payment. Bills payment this week are $1,030,433.45. That's 1,030,433.45.
Second. That motion's been made with the proper second. Any questions about any of those items? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey.
Yes.
Mr. Powers.
Yes.
Mr. Lind.
Yes.
Mr. Amos.
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt. Mr. Schmidt.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Welper.
Yes.
All right, those items carry. We have a board appointment. I don't know if Hugh is here with us this evening, but Hugh Field has been reappointed to the airport board for his second term. Number 2, please.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Lind.
I move to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing. This is a request to fulfill police department 5-year maintenance agreement for printer and copier needs.
Second?
That motion's been made with the proper second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we now have a hearing. Madam Clerk, are there any comments on file?
There are none.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on behalf of this particular item on the agenda? Going a second time.
What is the item?
Number 2 on is the request to fulfill police department 5-year maintenance agreement. If you need a copy of the agenda, if someone could pass the gentleman one, that'll be great. We are on page number 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe, right under public hearings. Motion's been made to close the hearing in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? All right, the hearing is now closed. Mr. Lynn?
I move to adopt a resolution affirming approval of bid documents, specifications, form of contract, estimate of cost, etc.
Second?
That motion's been made with the proper second. Council, any questions on this item?
Mr. Mayor, move to authorize
Well, we gotta approve this. So, Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Right, those items carry.
Mr. Mayor, I move to authorize resolution authorizing to proceed.
Second?
Motion's been made with the second. Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Right, that item carries.
Mr. Mayor, I move to receive and file and instruct the city clerk to read bids and refer the bids to the police department for review.
Second?
Motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we will read the bids.
All right, the first bid is from Marco, Waterloo, Iowa. Their bid amount was $1,845.34 per month. The second bid was from Advanced Systems of Waterloo, Iowa. Their bid was for $1,616.27 per month. And Access Systems Incorporated of Waterloo, Iowa actually had 3 options. Their first option was $1,613.50 per month. Option 2 was $1,677 per month. And option 3 was $1,565.50 per month.
Thank you. Number 3, please. Mr. Amos.
I'd like to make a motion to receive proof of publication and notice of public hearing, and that is to complete wall repairs to hangar number 4 at Waterloo Regional Airport.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the hearing is now open. Madam Clerk, are there any comments on file?
There are none.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak for this particular item? Going a second time.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing and allow any written and oral comments, even though there are none.
We need a second, someone?
Second.
All right, the motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, hearing is closed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a resolution confirming approval of specifications, bid document, form of contract, etc.
Second?
All right, the motion has been made with the second. Are there any questions, council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
That item carries.
I'd like to make a resolution authorizing to proceed.
Second?
Motion's been made with the second. Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file and instruct the city clerk to read bids and refer to the airport director for review.
Second?
Motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
There were 2 bids. Actually, the estimate for this project was $63,600. The first bid was from Modern Builders Incorporated of Janesville, Iowa. The bid amount was $72,250, 72,250.00. The bid bond of 5%. The second bid was from Woodruff Construction LLC of Tiffin, Iowa. The bid bond was for 5% and the bid amount was for $76,800, 76,800.00.
All right, thank you. Number 4, please.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Number 4 is a motion to receive and file proof of publication and notice of a public hearing. That's for the replacement installation of doors in the baggage makeup area and baggage drop-off areas at the Waterloo Regional Airport.
Second.
That motion has been made with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we now have a hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this particular item on the agenda, the installation doors in the baggage makeup area? Going second time.
Mr. Mayor, I move to close the hearing.
Second.
Motion's been made with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the hearing is closed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to adopt a resolution confirming approval of specifications, bid document, form of contract, etc.
Second.
The motion has been made with a second. Are there any questions, council? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to adopt a resolution authorizing to proceed.
That motion's been made with a second. Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Item carries.
Mr. Mayor, I move to receive and file, instruct city clerk to read bids and refer to airport director for review.
That motion has been made with a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
All right, there were 3 bids. The bid estimate was for $60,000. First bid was from Modern Builders, Inc. of Janesville, Iowa. The bid bond was for 5%, and the base bid amount was for $45,800 with an alternate of $21,000. So the total bid was $66,800, 66,800.00. The next bid was from Peters Construction Corp. of Waterloo, Iowa, with a bid bond of 5%. The base bid was for $49,940 with an alternate of $14,441 for a total of $64,381, 64,381.00. The final bid was from Woodruff Construction LLC of Tiffin, Iowa. The bid bond was for 5%. And the base bid was for $51,600 with an alternate of $15,200 for a total bid of $66,800, 66,800.00.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Could someone take number 5, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Land.
I move to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing, which is to complete improvements to the roofing and exterior siding on T-Hanger Road B at the Waterloo Regional Airport.
Second.
Motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the hearing is now open. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this item on the agenda, the roofing and exterior siding at T-Hanger, the airport? Going a second time.
Mr. Mayor, I move to close the hearing and receive and file oral and written comments.
Second.
The motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now closed.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a resolution confirming approval specifications, bid document, form of contract, etc.
Second.
Motion's been made with the second. Council, do you have any questions about the T-Hanger? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
The item carries.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a resolution authorizing to proceed.
Second.
Motion's made in the second. Any questions? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, that item carries.
Mr. Mayor, I move to receive and file and instruct city clerk to read bids and refer to the airport director for review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
All right. The bid estimate for this project was $91,085. First bid was from Modern Builders, Inc. of Janesville, Iowa. The bid bond was for 5%, and the bid amount was for $102,850, 102,850.00. The next bid was from Woodruff Construction LLC of Tiffin, Iowa. The bid bond was for 5%, and the bid amount was for $118,086, 118,086.00.
All right, thank you. And a lot of work being done at the airport, as you can see. If you haven't flown ALO in a while, we absolutely ask you to fly ALO. Number 6, please.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
number 6 is a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing. That's for the public hearing on sidewalk inspection and repair program, Zone 6.
Second.
Motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have a hearing. Madam Clerk, are there any comments on file?
There are none.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to the sidewalk inspection and repair program? I want to remind folks, we do have Mike and Wayne in the audience right now to answer any questions as well, but if you would please come up to the podium and let us know what's on your mind with the inspection and repair program.
Hello, I'm not sure if I should have came up for 7, but I'm Amanda Stoneman, and my house is on 1112 Oregon Street, and I believe the block before me and my whole block, my neighbor and I are the only ones that have a sidewalk there, and I did come into the classifications because my last square on the right side of my house connecting to my neighbor's driveway is a little more than an inch raised. And I was wondering if there's any way that you guys can look at the pictures and maybe dismiss these repairs until maybe the whole street has sidewalks, because as long as I've lived there, which is not very long, it's just 2 years, nobody really walks through my neighbor's yard to get to their sidewalk, to walk through, my sidewalk to my neighbor, my neighbor's driveway.
Michael Wayne, can you take a look and talk to her about her request once we finish, please? All right, thank you. And right after we finish 6 and 7, then you can go meet with folks at that time as well. Okay. Anyone else, would you please step to the mic, state your name and your address, and let us know your thoughts.
My name is John Cook, and I have a house on 1157 Liberty Avenue, and I received an assessment. There was a single square of the sidewalk that supposedly needed to be replaced, but I can't see why. It has a crack, but the crack is not uneven, and there's definitely not more than 3/4 of an inch of a bump or a ridge between the adjoining squares, so I'm puzzled.
Okay, so you want to figure out what's going on with that, and the gentleman will be able to handle his request. All right, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else? Please, wide open microphone today. Come on up and let us know your thoughts about particular item number 6. Going a second.
Mr. Mayor, I move to close the hearing.
Going a third. All right. Motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the hearing is closed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to adopt a resolution authorizing to proceed with sidewalk inspection and repair Zone 6.
And a motion has been made with the second. Is there anyone that has questions about, any councilman that has questions about this item? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Number 7.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
number 7 is a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of a public hearing. That's for the fiscal year 2017 Sidewalk Repair Assessment Program, Zone 6, contract number 909.
Second. Motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the hearing is now open. Madam Clerk, are there any comments on file?
There were none.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to number 7? I know we have 2
This was on the actual contractor bidding for the project.
on the actual contract bidding on
The other one was on the properties.
the property, but we'll still. Okay. Yes, ma'am, please come forward, state your name and your address.
Deb Volker from 1958 West 6th Street. They are currently working on repairing and fixing that sidewalk. 2 weeks ago, they had the forms in. This morning, they poured the concrete. Process should be done by the end of the week, but I am worried they'll add that cost to my property taxes for the following year.
Afterwards, could she give you her address and we can take care of it? All right, thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council on this item?
Mr. Mayor, close the hearing and receive and file oral comments.
Second. Motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is closed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to drop a resolution confirming approval of plans, specifications from a contract, etc.
Second. Motion's been made with the second. Council, any questions? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
All right, that item passed.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to adopt a resolution authorizing to proceed.
Second. Motion's been made with the second. Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
That item carries.
Mr. Mayor, I move to receive and file, instruct city clerk to read bids and refer bids to city engineer for review.
Second. Motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll read the bid.
All right. The bid estimate is $347,551.11. The first bid was from Midwest Concrete, Inc. of Piasta, Iowa. The bid bond was for 5%, and the bid amount was for $347,123.44, 347,123.44. The second bid was from JDA Construction of Marshalltown, Iowa. The bid security was in the form of a check of $24,500, and the bid amount was for $438,958.40, 438,958.40.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. If you all would want to join Mike and Wayne, I can take you down to the office, get you some coffee, some water, some cookies, or something to make this conversation enjoyable. It's customer service. Thank you. Hope he does. Should ask him first. All right, now we move to resolutions. Could someone take 8 through 10?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt the following resolutions. Number 8, resolution approving
Amphetamine.
drug hotspots grant money as subrecipient from the Governor's Office of Drug Council Control Policy in the amount of $23,597, with no matching funds required, to provide overtime funds to assist in mid and high-level methamphetamine investigations, and authorize mayor to execute said document. Number 9 is a resolution authorizing an exception to the city of Waterloo purchasing procedures to approve the purchase of replacement garbage carts from Toter Inc. of Statesville, North Carolina, in an amount not to exceed $68,250, including freight. Number 10 is a resolution approving award of Hotel Motel Tax Council discretionary funds to Aspire Therapeutic Riding Program in the amount of $7,500. Cedar Valley Sportsplex 2016 marketing campaign in the amount of $11,000. And Union Baptist Crusaders drill team in the amount of $5,000.
Second.
A motion has been made with the second. Any questions on 8, 9, or 10? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes?
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Thank you. 11, 12, and 13.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion adopting a resolution approving completion of project and acceptance of work performed by KWS Incorporated of Cedar Falls, Iowa for the Safe Routes to School Grant Project Number SRTS-U-8155, parentheses 729, parentheses -8U-807 at the intersection of West 5th Street and Baltimore Street with a total cost of $123,211.90 and release retainage of $6,160.60. Number 12 is a resolution approving completion of a project and recommendation of acceptance of work performed for the artwork portion of the project performed by Christopher Bennett of Keosauqua, Iowa, at a total cost of $90,000 in conjunction with fiscal year 2012 Lou Henry Hoover Memorial Sculpture Garden contract number 803. Number 13 is a resolution approving third amendment to development agreement with Deer Creek Development LLC for the overall development of infrastructure of the Green Center Business Park by adding 1 year to the previous 10-year time frame for infrastructure build-out and authorize mayor and city clerk to execute all necessary documents.
Second.
All right, that motion has been made with the second. Are there any questions about these three items? Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
All right, those items carried. 14 and 15, please.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Jacobs.
number 14 is a resolution approving the request by Iowa Heartland Habitat for Humanity for the 14-lot final plat of Irving Square Addition, located at the former Irving Elementary School at the corner of Hawthorne Avenue and West 6th Street. And 15 is a resolution approving a contract with H.R. Green for on-site visits by staff to observe the progress of the various stages of demolition of the remaining railroad spur at the former Chamberlain manufacturing site in the amount of $1,500 and authorize the mayor to execute the same.
Second. All right, the motion's been made with the second. Are there any questions about these two items? Madam Clerk, a roll call vote.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes.
Mr. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Number 16, please.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move to receive, file, and consider and pass for the first time an ordinance approving the request by Lamar Advertising for a site plan amendment to the Esplin Shopping Center District to allow for the construction of a 45-foot tall, 378-square-foot off-premise billboard located at 2010 Sears Street.
Second.
All right, the motion has been made with the second. As you remember, 2 weeks ago, I believe this was on the agenda, and we were waiting to have some more conversation between Lamar Advertising and as well as the Crossroads Mall entity. Noel, would you give council an update?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning and Development Director, and there are representatives here from Lamar Advertising and from Crossroads. We are aware that they have been talking, but they can probably give the greatest update if the staff is here.
Someone from Lamar or the Crossroads, have you been talking?
Yeah.
And tonight is only the first reading. but we kind of want to know what the progress is.
All right, John Harshbarger, General Manager, Crossroads Mall.
Address, sir.
Oh, I'm at 1973 Red Tail Drive, Waterloo. Right now, we're kind of still at a stalemate. Nothing really resolved. It's still going to block visibility from that direction from Crossroads Mall. I'm at a deficiency that I have a lower elevation than everything that's being built up on San Martin. Right now, everything looks great. I had the Pizza Hut tore down, but it's going to be replaced with a Chipotle and a Caribou. And so I'm going to have another set of signs, another building blocking the mall. I'm fighting for every inch that I have to get the mall back on to where it's supposed to be. And that sign's not going to help.
So one of the concerns that the council had was to make sure that you would have an opportunity to participate. Possibly has that conversation taken place? Or?
Yeah, that has happened. There is opportunity for me to advertise, and that's fantastic. There's opportunity for Crossroads to be represented on it. Ownership and other tenants in the mall still don't see it as a benefit. They still see it as a distraction, a noise, just visual noise right there. I'm still fighting with the DOT to try to get a monument sign, and I know in planning and zoning there was some opposition to how to get the effectiveness of a monument sign, and they compared it to College Square. Well, College Square's on University, and we all see what University has for traffic right now, and a monument sign wouldn't help them. But with the infrastructure of the interstate and being where I'm at from that visibility point, to be able to have a monument sign would be monumental. So, but we keep getting shot down from DOT.
So you had asked for signage through DOT.
Yeah.
As well, so that's okay. So have conversations stopped, or are you still talking? Or
Still talking.
Okay. Council, any questions? I think we have a representative from Lamar here as well. If you had some comments, you could. Yes, sir.
Would you mind if we passed it for the first time, but not suspended the rule? That gives you a couple weeks 3 weeks to continue negotiations.
I know right now we stand in opposition of it, so we'd prefer it not go through. My tenants and my ownership would prefer it not get approved.
Do we have something on file
For
against the tenants? Is there any?
So tonight is the first reading, and then we can actually break down the second and third readings as well, if you council chooses to do so. I mean, it already is, but I think that question was asked to make a good faith effort to see if you can come up with some type of compromise to help support with some advertising. But I don't know, council, any questions?
Mr. Mayor, could we hear from Lamar?
Yes, sir. All right, thank you, Mr. Harshbarger.
Tom Welper, 209 East Main Street, Dunkerton. As John said, we have had some conversation. I guess it's a big sign, and there's always going to be some people that are opposed a big sign, and I understand John's concerns. I guess if we can make more concessions, we would, but to be quite honest, upper management of my company is saying, you guys are bending over backwards. We're trying to do what we can with the gentleman from Poncheros also. I guess, like I said, there's always going to be somebody objecting to a large sign. If we're doing what the ordinance asks us to do, aren't we doing what you expect a company to do in this situation? We'd like to be good neighbors. We hope we could be. I don't know. I guess, aren't we doing what a company should do in this situation to try and make it right, to try and do, if we're within the ordinance, to try and do that and help the neighbors. But like I said, we still are in discussions, and hopefully we can come to some agreement. I don't know if we can, but we'll do what we can.
Council, any questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
it's my understanding that Crossroads itself, as Mr. Harshberger has pointed out, is fighting to regain momentum and build up some steam, and I don't want to do anything to take away from that effort, and I think this may be a hindrance to some of the visibility of the Crossroads merchants.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Schmidt?
No, that was Mr. Morrissey.
Oh, Mr. Morrissey.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just wanted to repeat what I talked about a couple weeks ago, and that is my objection to this and the reason that I'll vote no on this are the clutter. There are numerous, what I see as billboards driving by there and signs in that area. They serve as a distraction to drivers out there. And there's been plenty of studies, which I've heard about since then, having to do with distracted driving due to increases in modern technology when it comes to signage. Third thing is that what Mr. Harshberger and I think even Lamar Signs referred to, and that's the visibility, and Councilman Jacobs refers to, with Crossroads businesses out there. And Mr. Harshberger himself, if I heard correctly, prefers that this not be approved. And it sounds like Lamar themselves and top management above the gentleman who spoke are saying that they're bending over backwards at this time. So I see no point in delaying this any further. And the final thing is, again, a citizen review board, our Planning and Zoning Commission voted this down 2 times already, and I believe that that is a telling decision that hopefully would have an effect on all of the council and the decision. So with that, thank you.
All right, just one more question. Do you have multiple signs along San Martin in that area?
We do. We have one more sign in each direction. We have one other digital sign in the area that is facing the opposite way of the way we want to face this one, and that is why we've asked for this sign.
Is there, so you have, so where the sign is going, you have one more a little bit further down the road?
Correct, yes.
Has there been any conversation about removing that sign? Because the digital billboards, you can do multiple of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You got the one, whatever it's showcasing, but with the digital sign, that would be one screen and it will continue to refresh.
There has not been discussion about removing another sign. I don't think at this point that should be an option.
Right. Well, I'm just trying to help you.
I know. I understand.
Yeah, because it's going to take a 6 out of 7 vote
right
for this to pass right now. So that's why I was seeing, what some long-range plans. If a councilman considers the area to be flooded with signs, and I know they're not all yours, but just
2 of them are ours.
2 of them.
Yeah. And it's a mall. You've got to expect there's going to be a lot of signs there. There's a lot of businesses.
It's a main arterial.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
I got a question.
I forgot it was you next, and then to you, Mr.
Oh.
Welper next.
Do they pay taxes on those signs?
Yes, we do.
Okay. That was my question.
We pay taxes, and we also pay the local landowners. I don't know if you want figures.
That might be helpful then for the next.
Last year, we paid landowners in Blackhawk County over $300,000. Taxes, I believe it was over $30,000. I'm not positive on that.
Mr. Welper.
Mr. Mayor, in the realm of all of this, if Lamar is doing everything that they're supposed to do, I do support free enterprise, and I certainly do not want to discourage anybody from wanting to do business with the city of Waterloo. And I hope our businessmen are treated similar in Cedar Rapids, if that's where you're from.
Well, we're from here too.
Pardon me?
We're from here too.
Okay, very good. As far as billboards are concerned, I don't base my decision on where I shop or what I buy from billboards. I'm sorry, sir, but that's me, so I certainly do support you putting up the signs.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I support signs as well, but when we have, Mr. Harshberger saying that the business owners are not in favor of it at Crossroads, and it may take away what's already there, I don't want to do anything to harm that going concern at Crossroads Mall. So I support signs in other areas, but I think this sign, if it blocks potential shoppers from seeing Crossroads or seeing merchants at the Crossroads Mall area, then I don't want to do that.
Any comments? Any other comments? Yes, sir.
I'll kick you off. My name is Lynn Hennings. I'm the Director of Operations and owner of Poncheros. Address, the restaurant is 2845 Crossroads Boulevard. I live in Cedar Rapids, 7314 Sandhurst Drive. I just wanted to make a comment that I agree with John that we oppose the billboard to come, or this being proposed. And the main reason for us is that where it's going to be located is it's going to be right over top of our neighboring business. It's AutoZone, or it's Advanced Auto, and it's going to be right in our dining room. All of our customers and all of our guests are going to come in, have Poncheros, sit down, and whatever message is on that board, due to its location, is going to be right over top of that neighboring building, which will be my wall of my restaurant. And that is just something. That's just, depending on what the message is, it might be neat, but it might be bad. So we just don't want to have that. That's our main opposition. We're not opposed to signs either. We use billboards. We do business with Lamar. This specific location is a problem for us. And then there's other things that are secondary to that is we aren't really sure how the bugs would be affected, if whether their lights are going to attract more or less. I don't want to do an experiment over our restaurant on that. And then obviously the clutter comment brought up with that area. And in talking with our other owners and our landlord is that there's a lot of money spent on our building and signage and landscaping and everything to make our building look beautiful and attract customers, whether people look at the signs or not. It's all part of the piece that makes people want to go to an area. And throwing a big message center right over top of that area, everybody's going to be looking right at that, and they're not going to look at our sign, or they're not going to look at our building. It's going to take away from us. And so for those reasons, we oppose.
All right, thank you very much. So council, it's an interesting decision. Tax dollars or?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir, Mr. Schmidt, I think.
Hey, and I apologize, I don't have my iPad right in front of me, but kind of going back to the conversation a few weeks ago, as I understand it, what Lamar is doing is within all of our guidelines, within all of our ordinances, within all of our rules. So I don't understand from that perspective how we don't at least continue the conversation, maybe not waive the second and third reading, but at least continue the conversation. Unless, and I don't think I heard this, unless this proposed billboard is actually going to be blocking anybody's view, but I don't think there's any guarantee that the ads are going to be on this billboard are necessarily going to be for Cedar Rapids businesses or Iowa City businesses. They could be all Crossroads businesses if they wanted to, and I don't know. I just think we're getting into an area that city government probably ought not get into as long as they're meeting the rules that we set. If we don't like those rules, going to Mr. Morrissey's point, then we need to change ordinances. But I think if they're abiding by what we request them to do, I don't see where we really have a good case to deny them. I'd love to see them work together with Crossroads and come to some resolution, and maybe they can do that in the next couple of weeks. But I'm going to support approving the first reading, but I'm not going to support waiving the second and third.
So let me get this right. So moving forward with this first one, then possibly not suspending the rules to see if there's more conversation. Madam Clerk, if at any time we get to the second or even the third reading and the council denies the third motion to consider and pass for a third time, does that kill this particular item?
Correct.
So, okay. And Noel, if you would, as Mr. Schmidt asked the questions about them doing everything in accordance to whatever rules or ordinances we have in place, is this a correct statement or no?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. Yes, it is. The staff report noted that they are within the distances required for new off-premise advertising sign in this district, and that is why staff recommend approval.
Okay. And the board denied it because of clutter or?
The board denied it in part because of the opposition as well. It was denied the first time 4-1. The last time it went to the planning commission, it was a 3-3 tie, which is a failure as well.
What were the reasons again? So
for the 3-3, the opposition from Poncheros and Crossroads.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
So it was my understanding last time we discussed this that we were going to have Harshberger or Lamar speak with Harshberger to try to work something out.
Right.
And it appears to me that nothing was worked out since we last met. And secondly, Councilman Schmidt brought up blocking the view. Maybe Mr. Harshberger could talk about that again, but I think this spot for this sign is wrong because Crossroads is a little bit lower. And maybe you could talk about that again, Mr. Harshberger, about the view. And does this really block, let's say, passerby's view of the stores that you manage?
It was a little bit easier to explain when I had planning and zoning. There were actual pictures, and you could see just how bad the visibility was with the billboard proposed. I mean, I have tenants like Gordman's, Yonkers, At Home, US Cellular that are on the front facing part of the mall. Not everybody has the ability to be there due to certain places that they're in a mall. Their signage is either inside or outside, but that particular face, like you said, it's the main artery, San Martin Drive. You put a billboard up there, you can't see it. We're a lot lower elevation. When the mall was built, there wasn't a lot of stuff built up around us. And, you know, retail's a tough game right now, and any disadvantage to me or my tenants would be detrimental. We're fighting for every inch that we have, and throw a billboard up there, and people driving by don't see me, and they go to Target, go to Walmart, don't stop at the mall. And we're really fighting not just for the people that live here, but for all the rural communities and travelers that are traveling on 20. We want them to stop and shop. We want money in the Waterloo area.
So right now, Crossroads does not have a billboard.
No.
anywhere.
Nope, and we don't have a monument
Taking a
sign.
look at the pictures, I see Crossing Point. You can see IHOP has a large structure in front. I see Target. I see Hurricane, Sports Clips. You can see the Unidome up there. But I don't see any Crossroads signs.
Nope, and you can barely see them all.
But yeah, but I think when folks go that way, they go there for a specific purpose. But yeah, just no signage. Anyone want to see these or have it seen them or want to?
And
we have them.
And like my neighbor said, you know, they spend a lot as well, the people that are on San Martin, Poncheros, Men's Warehouse. Like I said, we're going to end up with a Chipotle and a Caribou on the corner that you don't see now. And it's just going to be more signs, more signs, more signs. And I'm just getting buried.
Does Poncheros have a sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Powers.
Well, I kind of like the idea of paying taxes in the sky from sky taxes, but I also want to promote business-friendly corridors. And I think that this may have an impact with all the added signage, and so I would be voting no this time, but strongly consider going forward.
Just Just for clarification, if it doesn't pass on first reading, it's done.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
And I apologize, I couldn't quite understand Mr. Hart's part with the background noise I've got here. So this new sign will block current Crossroads business signs? Is that what I heard, or is that not what I heard?
Yeah, it definitely blocks Gordman's. You can't see Gordman's sign on the front of their building anymore. I've driven it about umpteen times to see what the effects would be. Especially because the face that's going to block is the digital billboard with the changing messages. Your eye is going to automatically go to that billboard and you're not going to pay attention to anything that the tenants have paid for on the outside of the mall. If that makes sense.
Did you hear that, Councilman Schmidt?
Well, I heard most of it. I guess then my other question would be, and I understand this would be a different motion or a different request, but so is it possible then for Lamar to move the proposed location for this sign, still be within our ordinances, but not be blocking current signs? Would that be an option?
No. No, with regards to the ordinances and with Lamar, is there any, because you have to stick to a particular property because you're working with that.
We're working with that landowner, and he did suggest moving it to the other side, to the other side of the building, and I don't know if that would keep us 1,000 feet away or not. We haven't gone out and measured it. If I could respond to the blocking, we did submit, I guess it was a photo, but I drew in the billboard on where it would be, and that was, planning and zoning saw that. I don't know if you folks have a copy, but I went out there with a flag that would be to the bottom of the sign, took photos and drew the billboard in to where the bottom of the sign would be. It does not block Crossroads. It's higher. He even said that Crossroads is lower. Our sign, if it's up here, it's not going to block something you're looking at down here.
And the base of the sign from
It would be a pole about this big around.
And it'll be in front of, or to the back of
Advance Auto, yes.
Okay.
And I don't know if Mr. Anderson has that drawing or not, but.
Is this the one with the arrows?
I mean, if you look at the height of the sign, where the bottom is, it doesn't block anything behind it.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Did, my understanding is the Planning and Zoning Commission voted against supporting this, but what about staff? Where was staff at on this?
Staff voted to approve it. The first planning and zoning vote was 4-1, 4 opposed, 1 with. And then the second vote was 3-3, 3 opposed and 3 in support.
And are there only 6 voting members on the Planning and Zoning and then 3 that don't vote, or where are we on that these days? Just out of curiosity.
I think the first time 5 voted and the second time 6 voted, so.
Okay.
What is that number? Is it 7 or 9? 7, it was, it's 9. Is that a quorum?
Well, I know there's 9, but I was thinking that 3 of them weren't voting members or something, like from the schools and a couple other representatives.
And we'll have Eric Schrader.
Yeah, that's probably a different topic, but.
Eric Schrader, City Planner. There are 9 voting members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. There are 3 members that are appointed by other boards and commissions, but they are voting members. So there was just 6 members present at that meeting, 3 members absent. So it did represent a quorum, and it ended in a 3-3 split vote, which failed to recommend approval, which is the same as a recommendation of denial.
Gotcha.
Okay,
thanks.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask Mr. Anderson, what are the total taxes paid by Crossroads Mall, and how many businesses are located in there right now?
That'll be a question for Mr. Harshler. He's thinking.
Yeah, I don't know the tax figure right off the top of my head. 70 on one property. We have 3 different out parcels, so I can't do the math in my head.
You have an estimate on the property tax you pay per year?
I know the value of the mall that's taxed on. Yeah, I don't know the figure right off the top of my head, but I know that I have like 62 tenants right now.
So I guess my point really was that we have 62 business customers in the Crossroads Mall. Crossroads, I know, probably pays a ton of property taxes. Let's say it's a lot of money. We're looking at one business wanting to grow, which I love that. I think we got to balance it out and take care of the business owners that we've already got here and we're trying to support. And we don't want to do anything to drive them away or discourage growth and more businesses to locate in the Crossroads Mall.
So, helpful discussion, I just, is a billboard going to
Mr. Mayor?
interrupt 62 businesses? Mr. Morrissey?
I'd like to call the question, please.
If I can make a comment.
I understand you wanting to do that, and I guess if I have to, based upon legalities, but, I mean, the object is to have some discussion.
Right.
So Mr. Powers had asked prior to you calling the question. So Mr. Powers.
In light of what Ms. Sheriff said, I would reconsider to continue the conversation. I'm not totally there yet, but I'll reconsider my hard no vote.
And what we have, and Mr. Morrissey has called the question, is just the pass for the first time this particular ordinance. It doesn't guarantee it can go to several different readings as discussed. So that is on the floor right now, and that is the question that has been called at this point.
And just for the record, I'll notify that the Planning and Zoning Commission, since they voted against it, it will take 6 yes votes to move forward. Mr. Morrissey?
No.
Mr. Powers?
Yes.
Mr. Lind?
Yes.
Mr. Amos?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Welper?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
No.
All right, that item fails for a lack of a supermajority. So I don't know what can be done at their other locations, or maybe the swapping of a sign for a digital one. I don't know, but yeah, they voted. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, now it is time for oral presentations. It's your opportunity to come and address the city council for things that are close and near to dear to your heart. You have 3 minutes. Please come to the podium, state your name and your address and your concern or compliments.
Jim Chapman, 224 Birch. I think it was last week or the week before, University Avenue. Are we going to hire a consultant to tell us how to fix it? And if that's true, why?
We will hire a consultant to design what we believe needs to be fixed or reconstructed, but we'll hire a consultant to do that. That's a huge project. But if you want to make any comments about that. It's broken. Put a coffee in your hand and drive down.
I have.
I think we all agree that it definitely needs some major work, which at this point, the recommendation is for a reconstruction of it versus an overlay or other improvement. And as part of the process, the city would hire a consulting engineer to do that design.
I mean, what design are you talking about? Changing it or changing to four or another lanes or what?
Right now, there's been conversations. We have it at 6 now. Could it possibly be 4? Taking a look at different options will not be something that will be made in the dark. Those options will be presented to all of you, so we can get your healthy comments as well.
Thank you. I just thought we could use the money somewhere else, so.
And believe me, I've tried. Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council this evening?
David Dwyer, 3145 West 4th Street. A few weeks ago, I asked about whether the garbage guys had been reassigned. I noticed that each week they get a little bit later when they pick up my garbage. They're probably about 4 hours later now than they were when they were not mandated to work the shifts they were working. And you said that you would get back to me, and I have not heard anything yet.
They did pick up the garbage.
That's not part of the point I'm making, though, sir.
Mark, if you want to address those comments.
Sure. Mark Rice, Public Works Director. It's not a matter of reassigning shifts. We have people on vacation. We have different people running the routes. They don't necessarily run them the same way. We don't have turn-by-turn navigation in the trucks. So the garbage is required to be out by 6 a.m. and that is the ordinance. So I can't guarantee you exactly what time they're going to pick up your garbage. I know most times people can set their watch by when they go by, but that's not necessarily a good barometer.
Since 2009 until this year, yes, I could.
Thank you.
But I understand their contract changed, so that's why I'm asking that question.
That really doesn't have anything to do with it, though. It is getting picked up, all right?
That's not the point. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else that would like to address the council? Second time?
Mr. Mayor, I move to receive and file oral comments and adjourn.
Motion made. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.